You are now tuned in to the CT Live Show with DJ Casanova and Teddy Lee, bringing you the best interviews and conversations with independent business owners and music artists.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to CT Live Podcast. It's your main man, DJ Casanova, and my partner, who?
MC Cold Fresh Teddy Lee. What it do?
Yo, we got a special guest today. He's been around Austin for quite a while. I've seen that man everywhere, perform everywhere. He's been with all different kind of bands, you name it. He plays all kind of instruments. He sings. He probably tap dances. I don't know if he dances or not, but we're gonna find out tonight. My main man, Terell, Shahid.
He's a lifer.
What's going on, partner? How you been?
What's going on, man? These are my boys. It's good to see y'all, man. Shahid in the building. Man, Cass, Teddy. Woo, this is some Austin, legendary going on right here. I done made up a new word, legendary. I'm gonna throw that in there.
We take it.
I'm putting new words out there.
That'll probably be one of the tracks on your next song, on your next album.
That's right. Yeah, we'll be on the next Neckbone joint. Legendary.
Exactly. But this podcast, in case no one's told you, we just chop up conversations, man. We talk about the good old days, the old days, everything music, everything business. We just have conversations. We don't do nothing scripted. We just get into it and
absolutely,
we just have fun
man.
with it.
That's what.
What I want to know, we're gonna take everybody back for a lot of the people that haven't seen you perform or don't know of. How did you start in music in Austin? Are you originally from Austin?
I was born in Fort Worth, Texas,
okay.
but I was here since I was 2 years old. So I just basically
you're
from Austin.
You're an Austinite. All right.
Austin,
So start getting into music when you realize you had some skills and some talent.
Yeah, I'm that nerd kid. I mean, I'm the dude that's marching band the whole nine. I mean, I started off. They brought instruments to our elementary school, and let you try them out. And then if they felt like you had any type of, talent at all on any of the instruments, if you wanted to, you could join the band and kind of get pre-acquainted before you went into middle school, And so that's what I did. First I picked up a trumpet. I was about to hold on to that trumpet, but I picked up to the saxophone, and then it was just, hey, the saxophone is what it is, right? So I went on and started learning. I'm classically trained. I started learning music, from real school standpoint, if you will, and kept on going all the way through. I started playing in athletics a lot, so I got into football and track and all that kind of stuff. But they wouldn't let me do both when I got to high school.
Oh wow!
Because you had to be in the marching band, right? They wouldn't let me change. Like, let me just, it's like, can I just, run in, change, hit the halftime show, come back, put the pads back on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was trying to do, but they weren't trying to hear that. So. So anyway, the only way I could do what I need to do in jazz band and go to UIL competitions, all this, I had to be part of this marching band system, and so I chose to go that direction. I was at Crockett High School at the time, but it was a good look because this is before Bowie, so this is like 4,000, 4,500 kids at one school. Right. So we're deep, you know what I mean? So I'm glad I didn't block somebody else, and that somebody else that ended up being the running back was named Mark Davis. He was incredible. So I mean, I'm glad that I would have been taking his position had I stayed on the football team.
Okay, so you gave him some shine. He owes something to you.
Dude he was cold with it too, but and I was like, man, I'm glad I didn't get in front of that. That's not. It would have, because I didn't love football like I love music. You know what I mean? So And
Right, yeah,
so I
right.
went ahead and kept on moving through. And then by the time I was 15, um, I was being brought in by some cats I ran into. I would watch them every night called The Business. And so
Mm-hmm.
I had a new
Yeah.
band called Porsche that my older brother, they would let me join the band because it was old enough people to let me get in the club. And so they could vouch for me at the door. So I was allowed to be in my own band with them as long as I could go be at school every day, sectionals in the
Mhm.
morning, and make the grades. And so that's what my whole high school. I was a professional musician, going to bed at 3 in the morning, and then getting
Making
up
it
to
to
be at
class.
sectionals at 6. Yeah, at 6 because I had to do
Wow.
before school
Uh-huh.
sectionals and then go all the way through. You know what I'm saying? So I was a workaholic even in the first
Yeah.
place, and yeah, so that's what it is.
Well, well, it paid off. It paid off. And you mentioned The Business. That was a pretty good band, cover band. And I remember when
Man.
I started seeing you when other people would start traveling and doing their own thing. You used to sit in and start picking
Yeah,
up
they would have me
this
cover for
positions
them.
and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, they went on like I'm doing a docu series about it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And but I mean, because people don't know how big of an impact we have on the entire music industry. They don't understand it. They,
Oh
they
yeah.
don't talk about it in Austin as a regular thing for us. So, but like you said, I mean, songs from Derek having songs of White Man Can't Jump, the horns on Brandy's first hit
Yeah, on
record.
Brandy stuff. Yeah.
We're talking about Greg Sane is in Maserati. Prince put him in Maserati, and Morris Hayes is the music director for Prince from then on, all the way till he passed. We're talking about,
History, big
we're
history.
talking about
Yeah,
the
yeah,
dudes I was around and I'm still around are absolutely monsters.
Yeah.
Even to this day, I got Grammy winners in my band. So that's the way it was from the jump.
Yeah. They came through Catfish Station. They used to play Katz's above Katz's, if I
Sixth
remember.
Street Live. You
Uh-huh.
mean I remember Sixth
Yeah.
Street Live?
I
yeah.
remember
They,
Sixth Street Live.
dude. So the band was so cold. So they had so much material. And that's why their name fit them. The Business. They had so much material. You could go watch them. I remember seeing this before it happened. I said, man, I'm watching these dudes like every night, man. But it's like, how many songs do they know? I mean, it's like it's
They
not
knew a lot of
repeated, bro.
songs.
It was
Exactly.
incredible, right? And these are
Yeah.
like performed songs, not. So then Sixth Street Live I've never seen it since, and took them and made them a house band. I mean, every night. Imagine a club saying every night this band is the band.
Yeah. Hmm. They were
6 nights,
they
every
had the
night.
crowd. They were pulling the crowd though. They,
I mean, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It was like, wow, this is incredible. This is insane.
they were
So,
pulling the crowd.
absolutely. And there was a crowd to pull because the thing is, like, Austin was a completely different animal. So it's like your crowd knew as much about music as you did because they were music lovers to that extent. So they were
What's
like,
so
yeah.
fun?
yeah,
What's about The Business? What was the guitar player name? Something Cole?
he's the bass
Is
player.
that
Yes,
something?
Sutton was
Bass
the
player?
bass player. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, but there's a guy. Every time I see him, I'm a big reggae fan, so I go see Barry Salmon every time he comes
Oh, cool, cool.
town.
Yeah, yes, sir.
His guitar player reminds me and looks like Sultan had the dreads with the beads and the mannerism, skinny, how he danced, and I'm like, it can't be two of them.
Look, old boy from Earth, Wind and Fire acts just like him too.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
They act the same too. They play, except for he just has his hair
It's
straightened.
high energy cats. High
yeah,
You're right,
energy.
right.
yeah.
The performance cats. You know
But
what I'm
he's
saying?
but he's
Mhm.
like a black rock guitar guy with a reggae band, with a smooth reggae band. But they let him shine on his parts. But when he shines, he starts.
He letting it fly, baby. You
Yeah,
know.
man. And I'm like, every time I see him, I'm like, damn, I wonder if he's related or is that Sultan just doing guitar now instead? Like, man,
No, man. And what's crazy, Cole, he played with all these major. I mean, he was on Rolling
major.
Stone magazine. I mean, Eric Gales,
Yeah.
he still plays with Eric Gales. But I mean, and I mean, all those guys, the reason why I end up getting a song on the Temptations record, which I'm trying to fix my publishing on right now.
Oh
But
yeah.
but anyway, I mean, it's like all that stuff, it led to just watching them just go through all this, and then led me into all the different bands that I got into, from the funk. We did Taboo,
Yeah.
I took over that for a
Yeah.
while, and then me and Les, we created the Funk Mob
Funk
because I
Mob.
had my own. Yeah, we did that about 20 years, and so those were just the bread and butters of this of what's here at home. But then we had all of our records and the tours we went on, and I had my own albums and stuff. So it's, it just it was it's still a crazy ride because I'm still doing it, um but a lot of people don't really know all these things we're talking about. Like you were saying, it's a lot of
It's a
it's too
lot.
much to cover, right? I mean, think about this. All this is going on. I'm coming over playing tracks to Casanova. Also, in the midst of all of this, I'm meeting Cass because
Oh,
Overlord. We in the
Overlord.
studio for
Oh
like
yeah.
24 hours dropping tracks that night. I think
Yeah. Yeah.
from Can You Hear Me? Right? I mean, we were
Yeah.
like, and
It was fun. It was just it's just you know I didn't consider we don't consider that work. That was just
right. It was
fun.
just crazy,
Hang hanging with the fellas, having a good time, everybody cracking up. Just it's later on as we get older, it was work, but it's still in your blood, so it's
Yeah,
still fun.
yes.
When it stops being fun, that's when we know we have a problem.
Right, right. I mean, and you need to check yourself or go somewhere. I mean, change direction, do something because of once it's not when you're not feeling it, and it's not fun. It's something is happening. That is probably interrupting
Yeah.
um what you're supposed to be doing.
And sometimes you just get overwhelmed with home life, family life, school,
Yeah,
work, whatever it is. It adds up. 'Cause I haven't touched my equipment in probably about a month and a half. So I'm just
yeah,
kind of relaxing away from it for a little bit. And when I get back on it, get back to being a beast.
yeah, man. I
You
mean, I,
know?
I only do things when I can. Now. I mean, do it when I feel it and when I can because you have to take
Hmm.
care. I grew up. I took care. I dealt with 3 kids. I went through a divorce. Your people are dying left and right, pandemic,
Yeah.
everything. I mean, there's so much stuff that is the real world to me and I'm a real estate agent now. I'm a realtor. um there's a lot that deal with your handling people's money. You're making sure things are correct on major property purchases, so your mind is on a lot of things,
Hmm.
but you're creating still. You still have all your creations happening in your head, and you need to get them out.
Oh
you
yeah.
know, and you need to, and then you try to figure out what you want to do with it. I myself am just now able to start digging into the vault, which is
You got a big vault.
I got a huge
Your
vault of
For
music,
real.
man.
your
Lots of
your
projects, man. Like, yeah,
your vault should be like, whoo,
it's incredible.
yeah, yeah. So
And
you
every
never
kind of
stop.
beast y'all ever saw is recorded. I mean, they're on it. Like it's so
Yeah.
you know it deserves to be placed somewhere, and that's my next thing is just basically trying to make sure it ends up somewhere. And products, TV, movie,
That's what
whatever.
I was just gonna
Uh,
ask if you do placements and stuff
Yeah, I have
because you're
some that I haven't done it. So if you look at Drop Dead Sexy, that movie, my track is playing in a hot tub scene, and you can tell it's me because they play it for a long time. And then
oh
there's
yeah.
uh, a movie called When Harry Tries to Marry Bollywood, right? The people that are over in India, they have their own Hollywood. They call it Bollywood.
Yeah.
And so when Harry tries to marry, you hear my song playing in as they're walking by a crazy club or whatever. And so I have placements in certain things. Of course, I used to have the custom sounds commercial stuff where they use my music and us and the
Yeah.
so
Well,
I
that's
did
what I'm
it, but
saying.
I haven't done
With
it lately, and I need to do something now. Basically, is what I'm saying.
yeah, because with your library, they that's what they look for someone that has expansive library of different things. So
Yes,
whether it's instrumentals or vocals or whatever, you
right.
should. So that's a good look for you right there. But
Yeah, yeah.
Let's get before we jump too ahead. Let's get back into the meat and potatoes, man. When you were in your
I told you,
younger
man, I can listen to
prime,
this dude just talk,
prime,
man.
prime and hungry. Give me the mic. I want to be up front singing days.
Man, I tell you, I was in that band Porsche, my own little band with my brother and Willie McGowan, and I'm still back connected with Todd Lockhart, who's helping me with stuff I'm doing now. But we had a little band, and I think when the lead singer that was in that band, it's a crazy story. He started stealing,
Uh,
and Ashish, our guitar player, who's now a major law office. I mean, like I said, everybody went on to do some crazy stuff. So Ashish has a law office, decide law in California. This is his first case. Our lead singer was stealing from us.
Oh, wow.
And we had to take him to
court.
small claims court. So
Uh-huh.
Ashish, this is his first case. He actually does. He handles the case with us, for us. He's already in school at UT for law, and
Hey.
so I was already kind of stepping up a lot singing because like I said, I was underage, but they would give me these shines every now and then, and people were liking what I was doing better than the guy that we had in the band.
Uh,
And even though I wasn't fully developed yet, it was just
you can
whatever the
hold your
thing
own.
was. Yeah, whatever. I was just holding my own, and um, so they were like, "Man, do you want to take over? I mean, can you just be the lead singer? Like, just forget the stuff in the back and just and just
Come on in
start
front.
doing this." And I remember LB had from the business had come, and he
Hmm.
said to me, he said, "Hey man, uh, you know, I think you have something. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting for you to say F it.
So you come
And
on
when you
over with
say
me.
F it, you're gonna no." He's just saying like I wasn't doing my full potential,
Right.
and he could
All right.
hear that I could sing better than I was singing, and he was correct because I ended up getting there. But he was like, "Man, you're worried about a bunch of other stuff. Just F it and just
Just let it
think
out.
about these things, yeah, and just let it happen." And that was like a great piece of advice, as short as that is. you
Hey,
know,
some, you
and
don't need
I
a lot
did, and
sometimes.
hey, and that I was like, yo, I'm gonna figure out what I am. I'm gonna find my sound. What is it? Find your style, find your everything.
Mhm.
And I started going down that journey. You know what I mean? And that really helped me become what they call a front man because singing is just singing.
Yeah.
But frontman is a quarterback thing. I mean, there's a
Hmm.
lot, and that's why when people train, I try to teach, and I've taught some people vocal, but I won't teach it without a couple of things, and that makes me kind of a hard teacher, because I'm like they have to learn an instrument so they can understand and speak music. They need
Oh,
to, also, after aside from mastering their voice, learn what's going on the stage. How do you talk to the soundman about your monitor, right?
hmm.
um, do you understand the difference? So you're going to learn a little bit about sound engineering, what the front of house is doing versus what monitors are doing, and you're going to learn a
Yeah.
little bit about frequency, so you can help the guy if he's a B plus or above sound engineer. You'll be able to tell him some things really quickly that'll help him immensely
Yeah.
to get your sound right in you control your environment. So that's like you
And how
know
you mic, how cut
right,
the
and not
nose
covering the
here
not
or
yeah.
what frequencies.
Well, yeah, not only I mean, yeah, not like you said, it's that, and it's also what's happening, what's ringing on, and where it's ringing. So sometimes things are
Hmm.
ringing in the front of the house; they're not coming from the stage. So if they keep on messing with the monitor, it still won't fix it because they need to cut it in the house. It's bouncing off the walls out front to the mains and coming back to the mic. But then if you're up on stage and the front of house is fine, it's not even on. You're still getting all the feedback. It's all on stage. Like you were saying, you have to find the EQ and where that's coming from, which microphone, which channel, and then you got to adjust that. So, even though I'm a sound engineer and I do that too, you're not going to learn all of that, but you need to learn at least as a singer. Hey, you know what? I can tell him what's wrong with this EQ setup that I'm listening to for my vocal. I can tell him, hey, if something's boomy at the bottom, you can tell him it's boomy at the bottom. If you get really swift with it, you can say, man, I'll even know what hurts to tell you. Like, I can tell you it's, 80 and down, or, it's a subtone way down there. Or if I can tell you it helps the guy because he has to keep running back and forth um, from the
Right.
stage. And so if it's a great sound man, like I had really great sound men, and they would really love it because I'd be able to tell them, hey man, the ring is a sizzle way up high, probably at like 10K where the cymbals at. We got something about to take off up there, but it sounds like it's not my mic. It could be my mic, but it could be the drum mic. What I'm helping him do is find it, chase it down. So he's chasing down where that is. He fixes it quickly if he knows how to change his monitor EQs, and it saves a lot of time, right? So and then now when I'm singing, I feel happy on stage. Like I can hear myself and he can turn it up and it's not gonna feed back. And I can tell him to put the compressor into the insert so I can hear it too, so that's not swimming all over the place when I get loud or soft. These things that seem like nothing to an audience, right? To a front man, if he's got a mastery of his voice and his environment, he's gonna kill it all the time. Just about.
That's it, and that's a lot of truth right there and wisdom right there, because some people just get up there and say, "Turn my mic up."
Mhm.
All right, and just want to do that and sing.
That's their knowledge base. That's a knowledge. They just know up, down. That's what you have to turn it up, turn it down. That's it.
While everybody else is back there, turn him down in this monitor. It's killing me.
Right. Yeah, and it's going in the wrong monitor. He's turning to get it in monitor 6 and not in monitor 1. Not to pick on the soundmen that don't know where the monitors are. We have had some of that happen in major shows. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That are on TV and everything. So I'm just telling y'all, like
even the little shows we did when as Project Crew, my group, I always make sure my sound was right, mics is right. Before it's like some people might have somebody else set up their turntables and do whatever. No, I get up there. Man, the crowd gonna see you. I don't care.
I don't care because you don't want to touch it when somebody just set it up wrong. I'll tell you.
Make sure everything sounding good is right. All right, then we go do our business.
I think that's what I miss the most about paid tours. Like I don't miss the industry at all, but what I would say is when I was on tour with a record label that had a budget, I miss that tech that knows everything exactly the way you like it.
He sit down, they sit
and
with
all
you.
He does at every show, he puts it exactly like that. You know what I'm saying? And you go up there.
He sit with you, say, okay, what do you like?
You lazy.
What do you want this? How do you want that? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, yeah, keep it at this notch, keep it this way, boom, boom, boom. They set it, check.
You set your stuff up just right, put your and that was spoil you. That does spoil you. You're like, oh, now I got to go move my own gear. I got to get up there, make sure my own environment is correct. Check my own mic.
Yeah. check.
You know what I'm saying? I got to talk to him. So, but hey, sometimes it's better for real. Like if you're not in that situation, it is better. I'm like you can't help me because it actually doesn't help me. If the person doesn't know all of that, then it doesn't really help, So
hey, we've been blessed.
I really didn't know. I really didn't know, man, it was that involved because I'm a straight rapper. You know what I'm saying?
They used to show up, raise the mic, which mic am I on? And that's that.
Yeah,
right.
And then put their hand over the ball like this.
We're not that in depth, but
right. So
when I hear you talk like this, man, I really it didn't dawn on me that the language that you use would help that guy on the side figure out what the issue is and do it in a timely manner, especially when you're like live on stage, what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
I can do it in like while I'm performing. Exactly.
He can have it done in 5 to 8 seconds, as opposed to him trying to figure it out and you performing a whole song and a half while he's trying to figure it out because you're uncomfortable because you're a perfectionist. So you're like, only thing you're thinking of is, God dang, man, these people are hearing this shit. You know what I'm saying? They hearing this shit. This is shit. But you got to keep going, and you ain't comfortable with it.
You look, and that's why sometimes I love bringing my own sound engineer. We had a shout out to Dennis Zamora, one of the best soundmen I've ever seen. We had him in both bands in the Funk Mob. We also had him with Overlord, rest in peace, Overlord. And rest in peace, Chicken George, who we just lost.
I know. I just not too long ago.
Yeah. But you know, the sound engineer. So when we opened up for Wyclef on the tour with Overlord, and just to let you know, like how cold some of these guys are. So Dennis makes it sound so good out front. It's crazy enough, okay. But the monitor game, though, the game on controlling monitors and making it sound so good. Your monitor with your voice and your instrument, whatever you got, it's gonna sound
Sounds
so
sweet.
beautiful and so controlled on stage. You know what I'm saying? And this control allows him to really, I mean,
Crank it
when you
on the
turn it, I mean,
outer.
yeah, oh man, and out front you can, I mean, you can do some mixes that are killing. And so Wyclef came out the dressing room.
Like, why?
He
Who is this? The
said,
opening act?
he said,
Why
yeah,
does
he
the
said,
opening
hold
act
on.
sound
He
so
said,
good?
hold on, man, hold on. You know, um, he said, hold on, man. Look, can I get this sound engineer? Um, you know, can I get this sound engineer to come with me? He was gonna take him from us on the actual tour, you know. Dennis, Dennis, Dennis stayed. Thank you, Dennis Zamora. You know what I'm saying? Uh Telling my homeboy I've been in an interview at the moment.
That's
You know, so
a good loyalty right there.
yeah, man. I mean, because he could have left, you know what I'm saying? He could have left and okay, people keep talking to me, sorry, man. But he didn't leave. He didn't leave. And you know, he went to records. We had a lot of tour. We had to open up for what's his face? Kid Rock at the
Okay.
Fox in Denver on that same tour, I believe. And nobody knew who. This is the beginning. I mean, this is how I know. It's
Very
crazy to
beginning.
be in the moments where they talk about it and you were there. You know, like, you know, people how Kid Rock came in the game. I mean, it's no joke because
Yeah.
we were there, and he had done this show. He had pretty much like been marketing this show for like a year, I guess, and nobody knew who he was. I mean, no joke. We were walking through the audience, going, "Hey, man, it's packed in here. Y'all must know this guy. Who's this guy? You know, Kid Rock. You know." And they were like, "We don't know. It's just been this major marketing thing been going on for." No joke. Nobody knew. This was his
Was it,
debut
was
at
that
the
was he
Fox.
still rapping? Was he still rapping then, or was he kind of getting into the rock stuff then?
He was rap rock. I mean, it was rapping.
Rap.
With the what he's known for, really. I mean,
Well, no, when
and
he first came out, he tried to have a hip hop album when he first came out because I got it on a promo and I'm like, who the hell is this?
right,
And
right, right.
then he started changing and developing and finding his lane.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I didn't know him at all. Like you said, like you know more about it because I was like, who and what, and that whole night was just crazy. But again, we opened up for this is here in Austin at Emo's. Who was that? I can't think of that group. It was a neckbone thing that we opened up, and Dennis Zamora, again, the sound engineer, he destroyed that. I mean, the main act was their sound engineer was horrible. It was just not a good look. And De La Soul, we opened up for De La Soul. That's what it was.
Okay.
And dude was up there going crazy, checking the mic for like hours. Like we were like, man, what's going on, man? For real? Like I think this dude is just going through like, you know, he's just tripping. And we hardly had
Trying
any
to look.
time. Right. And we hardly had any time to sound check, right? So, but thank goodness the guy could save his recall because we were gonna have to change. We were gonna have to do something what we need for us, and we ran up to the sound check. Dennis had that thing bumping like outrageously when we come out the first. You know what I mean? And it was just one of those things where we would go on these shows, and people would be like, "Hold on, man, I don't. What are y'all doing?" They're like, who is this? And so your sound engineer is that important, right? Because
Very important.
you know,
Yeah.
and
And you
just
got
because
it,
these other guys are on these famous people's tours doesn't mean they're good. Doesn't mean their
no.
sound engineer's good.
And sometimes you gotta kind of make friends with the sound engineer if you're opening act, if it's not your own.
If it's not your own, yes, sir.
Because they will try to save the sound for the major.
Yeah,
act.
they're gonna save the full blown. You know what I mean for
Yeah.
the main act. You know what I'm saying, and that's just typical. That's the way it works, right? So we took our sound. Even when I was signed with Intersoul, that was kind of a thing where they didn't understand for a while. Like, why are you spending money on bringing the band, number one, and number two, why are you bringing the sound engineer? You know what I'm saying? But
because we do a live show. Our thing is a live show where the audience gets sucked into it.
Right.
It's not just so until they find it, then they'll say, okay, now we get it.
Right.
Because Ovi was a live band type of an MC.
Yeah, I mean it's a live band situation, right?
Yeah, and it's so funny. Me and Ovi did a lot of stuff, not like you and him. Y'all were like Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I remember wild for a minute.
I remember we did. I think it was Antone's. They had like a Beastie Boys show where they were paying the homage to the Beastie Boys, and he came and said he wanted to do Brass Monkey. I'm like, there's no instrumental to Brass Monkey. I'm like, don't worry about it, I got it. So I reprogrammed the whole record, and he's like, he came back, and I was like, yo, here, this song broke down exactly how it is on the record. So drop the verses right where he's like, you sure this ain't an instrument? I'm like, nah, I just read it. Hit on the SP12. He's like, oh, okay. And we killed it, man. That was just like a fun show. We just did like 2 songs, but it was fun.
Yeah, man.
It's like there's a lot of memories, man. Even with Yogi, a lot of people have come and passed, know, but Austin has had some beautiful musicians, man.
I've got a great interview of him before he passed. So I'm hoping that'll make it onto whatever we put together for this docuseries. I mean, man, people don't understand for real. I mean, that dude's played with everybody from the Bonnie Raitt's to the Alanis Morissette's to the I mean, this dude is he's on the actual recording which was the demo that they ended up using for Alanis Morissette. There's tracks that are actually him. So people got to remember, like, these folks, I mean, wow, Brandon Temple, all these folks.
Yeah, Brandon.
Yeah, Michelle D'Anicello, Prince, Janet.
Yeah.
People don't realize, like, these folks that you're looking at, they're that sought after as musicians. Okay, that's
yeah. I was in New York in the 90s. I was in New York. Came from a recording session. I was in the car, and I'm going down. I think it was Broadway or somewhere. I was going to get ready to swing a left on ran Brandon over. He was crossing the street. I'm like, yo, what you doing here? He said, working, man, working. I'm like,
that's right, man.
You don't know who you're gonna see where. It's like amazing, man.
So I got a question. Tell me about your journey when it comes to you signing with the label. How did that all come about? How did they hear about you? How did you search them out? How did you pick who you were going to sign with?
Well, first of all, hang on, before you can jump in, how many labels have you been signed to before you found the right fit?
I didn't find the right fit any of them, but I signed to 3.
Okay.
And none of them wasn't worth a shit. That's what y'all can know that for right off top. Okay, but I give Intersoul I give them a 2/3. I give them a third of a release of a okay, because they did do some things, but the way the game works though, so I started out with Reynolds Music Group. They had a subsidiary. They were a subsidiary to another company that was called Big Boy. Now y'all know Bad Boy, but Big Boy was out of Louisiana.
Okay.
And a big truck. No, I'm sorry, not big boy. Big truck. Big truck. That's what it was called. Big truck. I think is what it was called. And that was out of Louisiana. And so Mystical was over there. Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, I know the label. I know the
Mystical
label.
was over there, right? This is before. Did nobody know who this
Before
was?
he,
Again, we're all getting this. Is we're all getting up. We're coming up into the game, so nobody knows who any of us are really. But and Badu already had a record, and you know they had signed like all these labels. They run a hustle, so they sign a bunch of people. Spice One was on the label with me. Reynolds Music Group. Spice One. Y'all might not remember. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
Um,
from
yeah,
Cali, from Cali.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
so and they spent their money on some youngsters that didn't even have a record yet. It was really strange. I was like, you got people sitting around with records and stuff rating it. So you sign on, and it was early, and I didn't really know the game. Of course, I knew this. I knew more than most kids knew because I already knew to try to protect myself within the contracts and make sure there was a way for them to breach. There's a way for them if they don't do what they need to do by X, Y, or Z, then I can leave. This is the reason why I've always been able to leave because I can hold them to the breach in the contract. You
mm-hmm.
know, you didn't do blah 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 blah. All right, I'm able to leave, and any court will say so. You know, because I had it in the contract. So that's just something I tell people, even though I didn't know the whole game. I knew to make sure they're responsible for something. The label is responsible for doing something on cue and on time. If they don't do that, there should be a way for you to be released to do whatever you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't sell your masters. We all know that stuff. But when so that was going on. I got off that label. It took, and this is the problem with signing a deal. It takes years to get off the thing. I mean, even with you having the upper hand, it takes a long time to get out of that bad boy. Okay, so to get off of that, but in the meantime, as I'm performing and everything, people are seeing me and they're trying to take me to New York and different places. So there was a thing called Farm Club that got on television. Now, this is something people probably hardly was a little small section of time. You could probably pull up Farm Club. I bet there's still something about them. But they would take unsigned artists, put them on this little TV show, and they would also take them into the actual labels in New York and present. Okay. And this, I actually met Michael Bivens, which I do not like. But anyway, I met him during this time. We, the guy that was helping me, I want to remember his name. He was really cool. He said, man, let's just take you up here. Let's try to get you in. Well, that didn't work out. The Farm Club thing didn't necessarily work out, but I was meeting other people, Union Ave, whatever. I was also hanging out with Mark Henry at the time, as I'm moving through. So shout out to Mark, World's Strongest Man. You know what it is.
Oh yeah.
And his son also is off the chain now, Jacob.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, we would, he was trying to help me out at the time, and I got on with Union Ave, and they did, they helped me put I already had a record recorded, but they helped me get it completely ready and put it in to the circulation in an international sense. Now, international sounds great, but the thing is, you as a regular person, you ain't got no lawyering power. You can't audit nobody.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
They could be making money right now. I would not know because it's all over the country, and I don't have any way to get. They wouldn't let me see the books. This happened at most record labels, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Ask them to see the books after you get signed and see what happened. Okay, so they got 100,000 lawyers, all them fake. Be mean, but no Ashkenazis up there running everything inside the courts and owning everything. So what you getting ready to do? You gonna come do what?
They'll tie you up. You won't have a penny.
You can't go to court that long. You can't. You don't know what you can't. Okay,
I've got a couple. I've got a couple of labels overseas that owe me a couple of dollars, but it ain't worth trying to.
You can't. You never get. You trying to go get it.
you'll never get it.
I've had stolen sound bombing 3. Yes, y'all up there in New York, jacking, stealing tracks and stuff. You know, had every verse of Jalila's stuff. Anyway, yeah, you know, this stuff happens for real. You know, so you get in there.
Oh yeah.
And I actually went so far as I went and brought Little Black in on it. I mean, I remember Little Black, sub CKC crew back then. You know.
CKC.
But I brought Little Black in on it because I was like, hey man, these dudes are serious. You know, I met Burt Padell through them. So I was like, you know, you know, these guys are serious. I thought, at least, you know, that's what it looked like to me. I was like, man, these dudes are serious. And you know, you're gonna come check them out, man. I'm telling you. But I also knew that I had the real gangsters with me, so because I roll the same way they roll up in this industry. If they're gonna, you know, if it's gonna be something, then all right, then, you know what I mean. But and in a way, that's kind of what changed everything in the industry, because H-Town is the same way. Shazam and all them, they done scared the industry into needing to lock the doors. You know what I'm saying?
Where's my money?
Where's my money, man? What's going? You know,
Where's
like
my money?
Texas got gangsters. I mean, you know what? You know, so you know, it's just it can take the fun out of it, man. So you know, here's that deal gets going, and then like I said, they finally let us out. Me and Black are dealing with them, and I'm having to go down to New York, and it's just getting, you know, it's getting crazy. But they put the record out, and the way it happened with that one, I end up keeping the rights to be able to sell that same music. Love, Truth, and Audio Tape is the name of that record. But they can also still sell it because they still can have the rights too. The way it's written, it allows them to sell it and us to sell. This is also having I think Taylor Swift's having that problem, right? I mean, she re-recorded.
Oh, yeah. She had to re-record it.
So you know what happens is they can sell.
Original.
Right. See, and they can always resell. They can still sell with you know that one. Mine, I can actually sell still the original, but it just means that, you know, it's kind of
the gangster.
Yeah.
The gangster part about it is you just keep an eye out on what they're doing. Every time they do an advertisement for it, you post it right next to it for $1 or $2 cheaper. You use the advertisement. No, you can get the same album over here for $2 cheaper.
Well, it has to be something going on because people started ordering stuff from me, like from Japan and some other places that I know I haven't been. And so, you know, it's just all, man. Anyway, I could go on and on about that messed up deal. But anyway, got out of that deal, and then comes Inner Soul that says, hey, man, we'll take you off of that. I was trying to get out of that deal. I actually had a conversation where Suge Knight was going around at one point. I'll get you off your deals. I'll get you out of your contracts for 70% of your publishing, which I cussed at until the phones stopped.
You said 70%.
I'm not gonna say everything that I would say, but I say. But yeah, no. So, you know, I was kind of stuck. So Inner Soul comes along, and the trick is some of these bigger ones, they're subsidiaries of stuff like Interscope, right? Inner Soul. And they're just like little spin-off companies. Now, what they have to do for tax purposes is keep them separate. They can't, I don't know if you notice now, because there's a bunch of Universals that they're going to claim don't work together, okay? They're going to say none of these Universal CMA and Universal, they're going to tell you all those are separate entities because of court stuff, right? They're going to make sure.
but that big check gets cut to
but
that
the truth is, right. They're all being run by the same Central Universal. So Interscope is no different with what I was dealing with, and I'm dealing with Inner Soul. This is kind of when I took the Funk Mob with me on that tour. But hey, I learned a lot watching Prince along the way, and not talking about his singing and his playing, but his business stuff that he was dealing with, and I kept up with a lot of that. Yeah, and what was going on and what was messing his stuff up. And so you know, this, like I said, I did better at that deal as far as how I, you know, negotiated. It wasn't great, but I didn't take it a big advance, you know. I mean, you know, because I mean, all that kind of stuff, you know, like I kept
Oh, you gotta
myself.
pay that back.
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah. With the interest, it's still part of the loan that they get. Matter of fact, everybody stay with us now. Record deal means loan. It's a terrible loan with a terrible interest rate. Okay,
No, let me rephrase that. Record deal means loan shark loans.
it's loan shark loans.
Shark
Okay,
loans.
okay. Let's just be, you know, let's be 100. For y'all that want to learn, this is why I'm telling y'all to stay out of there and learn to market your product like an independent person, but and independent business. But yeah, I mean. And they own your likeness in perpetuity throughout the, you know, don't let them start.
Just for
right.
Context for people that might not know the full scope, like Jazzy Jeff, Fresh Prince. That's why they never put out another Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince album.
That's
They're
right.
still signed to Jive. They cannot anything else with that name because they have a contract with Jive that they still owe Jive an album. So that's why,
you know, yeah.
When Will Smith did his stuff, it was Will Smith and Jeff did some production, but it was never Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince anymore because legally they can't use it.
You can't use the actual title. You can't. And
exactly.
You'll notice at Union Ave, the record just says Terell.
You gotta find
this is real. I mean, you're teaching real stuff. I'm just saying, this is real. It's not figurative. This is, you know, Prince had to just change the name to a symbol. Y'all remember? I mean, you know, it's not. Yeah, listen, they're not joking, right? So the next, all of a sudden, it's Terell Shahid. Next time you saw me, it wasn't just, you know, Terell, because, you know, I was using my spiritual name with it. But you know, you know, that deal, what they do, the game is to go get a bunch of artists off of other labels and make it look serious to the investor. Now that's a lot to, you know, process.
And a lot of them is throwaway. A lot of those album acts they get is throwaways.
So they sign a few real good new, right? They build a roster so they can get a bunch of money, right? So what happens is, you know, so like me and Angie Fisher, she was cold too. She had a nomination a couple of years. Shout out to Angie Fisher, one of the best soprano voices I've heard. But we were signed. What's his name? Lion. Anyway, there's another dude that was a rapper, incredible rapper. There was a lot of young guys on there. And then they would go get people, like they went to go get As Yet off of DreamWorks. Okay, they got As Yet off of DreamWorks.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and
I became good friends with all them cats, right? You know, I'm still, shout out to Terell and all them, the Don, all those guys. But so we're all getting signed together. I'm like, oh man, this is, you know, it's making it look serious to us too. I'm like, oh man, we getting dudes off of the major, you know, labels. They're coming through. They're re-signing with Inner Soul. You know what I'm saying? So the major investors are like, it looks real to them too, right? Boom, here's your 30 million, right? Okay. And you're supposed to spend $5 million per artist. I'm just going back to the old days. It's much different today, I'm sure, than it was. But but basically, hold on a second. So basically, you know, the investor, this will show you how cold it is. The investors will put up a bunch of money. Now, it starts to look good at the beginning because they spend it for real at first on the different acts doing different things. We take promotional tours like normal. We you know, do the radio shows. I took the band. We do the whole I call it the beginning bus, the before the bus tour is the van tour, you know, the van tour.
Oh yeah.
And you know, we do the whole, you know, and they fly me ahead and the band gets mad because you're getting flown ahead to get up at 6 a.m. like they think it's great or something. But anyway,
all the radio interviews.
Right, ready to do all this. So they're doing all this. It looks great. And they're paying back the investors a little bit at a time. So the investors think, yeah, everything's wonderful. But the truth of the matter is they're only going to put in a little bit of effort and then say it failed. Okay. Meanwhile, they're paying. Yeah, it's right. So now they're paying back the investor at the along the way. So at first the investor's not alarmed at all because he's getting payments that are coming in. See, later on when they have to stop, they say, "Hey man, look, we gave it a try. We did everything we could, but you know it's a risk to this. So you know we lost money. We're not going to be able to pay you back. So let's just say someone gave you 30 million and you paid them back 15.
Right. Right.
But you made off of 15 million. You know what I'm saying? Like so they use you, they use you art, they use y'all's talent. Y'all listen to me, young people. They use you as the bait, and they use people that need to get off the labels. They use them as the bait, and they bring them in and they create things so they can get a bunch of investment dollar, for the whole thing. So that's what's going on. It's so gangster. I just want folks to understand that, you need to know business, and you need to know the streets, and then you need to know the father. And you need to know who you are, since you're dealing with an Ashkenazi who's not you. So
it's all of the above.
Yeah, all of that is against you. Be aware of that.
Well, in that 70% that they were trying to take your publishing, what was the worst offer somebody presented to you that made you like, really?
Heck, that's 70%.
I think that might have been. I think Suge might have done it, man. I think Suge might have took it, bro. Well, I can't. In his defense, though, a regular record label does that.
So you said
so he's offering basically what the slave master offers. So he's offering. It's not like, before I jump to say he's crazy. He's offering the same thing the major label's gonna offer.
But how much upfront money was he offering though?
No, I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear nothing about. Maybe it's because I was hollering and cussing too much. But
70%.
You can get that 70%.
They know amount of money you gonna give me.
I don't know what my manager said after that. I don't know what my manager said after that, because I'll
because
so let me ask
you been saying, I'm gonna give you $2 million up front, and then we work out that, and then 70% on the publishing. It's like,
no, because the deal is he's buying you off of a label you want to get off of.
Yeah, he's working.
I mean, he's saying I'm already paying that to get you off of the label, right? I mean, like I said, I don't know, man. People got to understand what it really is. Like, you got to pay it back, and it's just that's all it is to it, So
it's shicey.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, I know you said that that you had a bad experience with Michael Bivins. I know you had a conversation with Diddy at one time. Now,
yeah, my manager was trying to hook me up with Diddy. But then again, I was already working with. I already met and knew Easy LP and 45. Okay. Those are the producers. Uchi Wally, Uchi Bang,
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get on at Bad Boy. I was like, because I knew them, and I was taking my homegirl Jalila up to Houston, and they did this conference there, and we all met, and it was like woo woo, and it was cool. And she went to their hotel, the whole nine. And I was like, so when I was in New York dealing with the Union Ave thing, I was hanging out with some of those producers, and I was like, hey man, come on, like put a brother on, like, I'm Bad Boy. I want to get production. I just want to write and make money too. Now again, what I heard back is not what people are expecting. That's not what I was expecting either. They said, bruh, that Negro ain't paid us. And bruh, when I met him, Uchi Wally was old, bruh. It had been a hit already. You know what I mean? Like for a long time. And I forget the other one that Easy
Uchi
LP
Wally was
on
the Easy LP did that one?
I don't know if Easy LP or 45. Which one?
That was on the
I don't know if it was 45
that was curated on the Dre though for the
I don't know if it was 45 or Easy LP. I don't know which one messed with that. But the point is, with Nas and all that. But my point is that those producers were telling me about hit after hit that I knew, and they hadn't got any money, and they already knew me and my temper, and they were like, "We would never put you here, bro. You'll go straight to jail. You'll go straight to jail for real.
Wow.
Because this is how he treats them. This is, you know, hey, you know, this
Well,
is
you
this.
know, I mean, you look at the situation now, and you can, you know, most people would say, yeah, that's you telling the
I
truth.
mean,
I mean,
now,
the
now it don't sound crazy. No, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
20
exactly,
years
exactly.
later, Terrell don't sound stupid because now the TV told you, right? But you
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
at the
Now,
time
and
though, when you're trying to tell your boys when you come back from this stuff, all they
yeah,
think is you
yeah.
lying and you ain't never done and you don't know, and you're like, okay, all right, well, you know, it's what it is, man.
And you
Yeah.
know what?
Now
The real
the deal with Michael Bivins. Let me ask you this: you said you weren't fond of him. Now, is that because of his business tactics, or he was just an ass?
He was just an ass. I mean, he was just a bitch ass nigga. I'm
Okay,
just being real
okay,
and me, you know, straight up. We were
okay.
going up
All
to perform in front of Michael Bivins, and we were, you know, this is in Manhattan, and we're going up in the building like we do, and and so we're gonna go upstairs, and the cat in front of me was also auditioning in front of Michael Bivins. They were trying to sign some people, or whatever, whatever. Really, what they're doing is finding people who got a sound and jacking them, like they jack my sound. Like that. But anyway, they interview these people this way, and it's so not really that cool. You go in an office and they play a little jam box, and you're supposed to perform. Just boom. I mean,
right.
it's that cold and that dry, so people need to understand. It's like, come in, hey, what's up? All right, show me what you got. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like that. But the guy in front of me, man, he was cold. Okay, so I'm sure this is when I'm sure what they ended up was they ended up probably signing Maxwell, but there was a lot of people that were supposed to be Maxwell, and I'm sure this was one of them. This is just me speculating because that was his thing. And but he was cold. I mean, he's way better than the stuff we're listening to. It was ridiculous. I also, man, and got to work with Xavier, who goes by
X-Man.
Fantastic Negrito right now. But anyway, all those cats were at the time had the sound that became what people know as a Maxwell sound. But it was, some of it was just a little bit more ghetto than, you know what I'm saying, soulful than what I like. It's what I like, you know. And
Right.
but the guy is also just his talent. Though his talent was, you know, it was way up there. And Michael Bivins, when this dude got finished killing it, he said, "Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't feel like it was soulful enough." Now, I know y'all weren't there to hear the brother, so it's not going to have the impact that it had on me. But
Mm.
if you would have heard what I heard, and you would have heard this nigga say this,
It's like, what?
right? That's exactly what I did, nigga. What? And that's exactly what I said. What? That's exactly what I said. And I didn't. I refused to actually do the audit. I went in and I was like, nigga, if that's what you finna do, then do you, nigga. But you know, you don't sing that well. You can't sing like him. You can't sing like me.
Right.
Nigga, shut up. Don't ever say that shit again. And I left. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Wow.
and fuck Michael Bivins today too. You know, if I see him again, we old, I'll still tell him, nigga, fuck you. I mean, you don't remember me because you Hollywood all day. I'm gonna tell you that. But anyway, um, but that's what he did to the dude, man. And it was just so ridiculous and so stupid. And coming from a lesser talent on top of that, you know, I know other people hold their tongue in this business, and they worry because it's a famous person, because y'all are idolaters. I don't idolize no niggas, none. I mean, and especially him. And so it doesn't mean nothing to me. Oh, well, he may not give me no money. Like I ain't been broke my life. I mean, what, I'm afraid. You know what? You know, we got to let that go. All this idolatry. Oh, this nigga's rich. Ooh, it's nothing, because what they don't understand. I'm around famous people all the time, nigga. It's not like whatever. I mean, you know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You know, Cut Creative spun in my club. I owned 115 with the partners I had. Cut Creative spun in that one where I own it at that time. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm telling folks is think about the fact that if you could stop jocking like that, I mean, you know, just these people sometimes they're just not cool. They're just not cool.
Oh,
You're
no.
not sure. You may not want to meet your favorite
idol.
Yeah, sing
it.
Yeah.
Will fuck up your whole life. You be like,
yeah.
My whole life I thought this person was so nice, blah blah blah, and in 3 minutes, you know, fucked
In
up
3 minutes,
your whole
jacked up
childhood.
your whole entire vision.
20 years of what I
You done messed up
I
my
admired about
whole
this
vision,
person.
man. In a few seconds, man, you messed up all of my vision and love. That's absolutely true, Kaz. I mean, you know.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Hey, I won't say what label I was in,
Right.
but I'm sitting in there, I'm in the A&R kicking, and somebody called and they were playing a song, and the president of the label said, "What do you think about this song?" I didn't know the person was on the phone, the person that did the song. I'm like, it's cool. He could have did this better or blah 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 blah. We'll still think about it. Send us a revised version. Send us some more stuff, and we'll see what works out. And I'm like, oh shit, I just fucked up somebody's record deal. And I'm like, oh man. But literally,
but you know what? But Kaz, that's what Kaz was really good for. I tell the story all the time. So I didn't go to Kaz because he was agreeing with me. People don't realize that we weren't really getting along like that. We respected each other. It's different.
Mhm.
I would go because I was like, man, all y'all gonna do is say I like it. Okay. Kaz is gonna let me. We're gonna talk like producers, right? And we were gonna be like, okay, man, I think this, and I would do the same with Kaz. Well, the tone I believe this goes with is blah blah. This is how iron sharpens iron. Right? I mean, and even though you may have felt bad, but it maybe made him revise. I mean, he might have, done some dope stuff and revised it and got it like super tight, because of that. I mean,
and that's how I learned to make sure you put your best song in the beginning and make sure it's banging in the first 15 seconds, because I literally sat there and saw stacks upon stacks of envelopes with tapes.
You understand what I'm saying?
They literally put it in. That's ain't it. But they look at the tape. That's when tapes were popular. They look at this is a nice tape. The erase this one, put some mixes on this, and next. And I'm like, man, that's how they do it.
What you're saying right now, Kaz, I'm telling you, that's what stuck in my mind when I first went into the Manhattan building. They walked me through, and they wanted me to see this. So I came back again. I was trying to explain this to people when I came back from New York and actually being able to meet Bert Padell, Ben Vereen, all those people that were running everything at the time. So you go in every cubicle. I want y'all to think about this. Anybody who's in every cubicle.
Mm-hmm.
The CDs were higher than the cubicle walls all the way around every single cubicle throughout the entire Manhattan building on every floor as we're going up. I know that's hard for people to get your mind there. Okay. So the dude was telling me this because he wants to show me that I'm only there because somebody got the hookup, because he says out loud to me, if I hired 8 people for every cubicle and let them start listening in 24-hour shifts, which they wouldn't remember all the stuff anyway. He said, they still couldn't listen through all this. Tell your friends to stop sending CDs to record labels. That's what he told me. He was being funny, but I mean, it was like, yo, I see. Like, don't send nothing to no label. You know where it goes, right? It's going in the trash because they have to clear it out after every. Yeah. I'm
gonna make a quick point, then we're gonna take a break. For that reason, somebody taught me that if you send in something, make your product stand out. Like my guy John used to spray paint his manila envelope, different weird colors just all over the envelope, and just left enough room to put the label on it. And people, they'd gravitate to that because
that was near the beginning when they had A&R that was really going to still try to listen through that.
Exactly.
And when it was possible for them to possibly maybe see it, by the time I was there, it was impossible.
It was gone. But we're gonna take a break. We're gonna listen to a couple of songs you sent us. jam out, see where your vibe is, what your new stuff sound like, what kind of direction
I got some old stuff.
We're gonna come right back. You listen to old songs. We're gonna do one.
Yeah,
old,
one
one
of them's
new.
one of them's from one's old, one's new. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're gonna see the progression. We're gonna show you the progression. But yo, CT Live Podcast, your boy DJ Casanova, my main man, who?
MC Cold Fresh Teddy Lee.
And Mr. Terell Shahid. We'll be right back after this break.
I am. I've been there. Been through the pains and tortures. I understand y'all. Look, I've been that naive kid in puppy love, codependent on a hoe who brought pain into my heart. That's right, man. That first time I've been there, man. I've been that nigga that calls you up at 4 a.m. just to get a piece of ass and leave you tripping in the dark. Like my dog in heat or something, man. That's been tripping. I've been that shy kid in school, always too nice in hopes that my ways would attract some love. Trying to be nice, now I'm that pimp that wish a nigga would start tripping so I could beat him down into a pool of running blood. Straight D-I-P-O-P, that's me. I am a disciple of Christ, slave to the Father, obedient in search for wisdom and knowledge. Trying to do the right thing, man. I feel it. I am that thug that just don't give a damn, filled with lust and always ready because your mom go to college. Your mom goes to college. I am. I feel it. I've been there, man. I know what you mean. I know what you feel, man. I am your brother you can count on. I'll always be there for you. In hard times, I'm clutch. Always willing to assist. I'm always gonna have you back, man. That's me. But I can be ruthless if you cross me at the wrong time. I flip, deliver your ass a swift kick. I'm ready to get with you anytime, though, if you gonna be tripping, man. I've been that fine, in shape, muscle man, nigga, chisel to the bone, quick, fast, strong, and such. You know, for the girls that shout, I did that. And I've been that fat boy, not so fly, not so pump, nerdy type fool, friend to girls like I'm a punk. Y'all act like I ain't never done it before. I seen some of y'all do it, I know. And I am friend as a man, your homie, I understand, but don't forget I am still a real brother. I'm still male, baby, don't forget it. Don't change your clothes in front of me or cuddle up in bed like I'm your girl. This dick is still under the cover. And I've been, and I am. I've been there. I am, baby. I'm still me. Size of the fence, man. Neck bone. Somebody play something.
All right, y'all, we back, yo. I see the progression on the songs from the old one, which was still banging. Don't get me wrong, and the new direction you going in. Well, you never cease to amaze me any which way. I hope everybody liked the songs,
style, bro. That style that he has, man, is just ridiculous, man. And it's just the concept of how he does his voice in that remake, bro. That, man, I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, man. The remake. I'm excited to hopefully get this out. Steve Greer passed away right after that, which was in the Funk Mob and all of that, and he was in. At that time, I had a group called My Daddy's Records. That's who we were gonna do.
Blind Mellow Jelly.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? and that's a whole crazy story. But anyway, ended up with the Blue Vinyl Crates, and that's everything about the Blue Vinyl Crates is recorded live on actually in the gigs, kind of like a Miles Davis type of thing, and we create other songs with it and mix it later. Okay. So I have some songs like like Bavu wasn't actually there, but he dropped into it, and there was a live recording in the venue, multi-track. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of a new thing. But that right there with Overjoyed being a remake of Stevie Wonder, we kind of went in and decided, hey, we're going to do this other arrangement of it. And to me, we were going to kind of take it live from there anyway. We're going to kind of, even if we did covers, it was going to be like we're going to record them live in the studio as if we're playing them like we are on stage. You know what I mean? Like we're going to really come from that angle. So that's what you're hearing a lot of, so I still have a lot of great tracks that are written and produced with many producers, John D's, all those cats that are just, everybody's incredible that writes around this whole entire camp, Neckbone of the whole camp is a bunch of producers. But what's crazy is that we got all these musicians, right? Like you were saying, we have all these insane musicians. And just capturing that, right? I mean, it's just something about it. And then of course, I get to sing over that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
So that's fun,
That's
so
nasty.
Are you producing anything? Are you working on the new album? Are you producing anybody?
What man, dude. So I've been, I'm producing, of course, the stuff for myself and others. But one thing I'm excited about right now is we've been working on Trey God's record from Hip Hop
God, the MC.
Yeah, the MC and
Freestyle Fanatic.
We've been trying to get him to do records for a while, and this one here is
finally got him in. Finally got him in the lab.
Yeah, it's outrageous. The beats that he's picked, the stuff that he's using. I mean, it's really going to bring back people to that feel that I think everybody likes about like the 90s, early 90s or late 80s hip hop, like the street hip hop that was boom bap, right? But it was but you were starting to get those real dope lyricists across the top, like like the Most Defs and all of that, so
lyricist lounge type of stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man, no, that's
I
good.
can't wait to hear it. How deep are you into it?
Ready?
Well, we're pretty far. I mean, he only has to drop a few more verses. So we're still in pre kind of, but we're crossing over. You know what I mean? Into being able to sit around and really just tighten it all the way up and get it out. We've been letting it happen instead of making it happen, which is another
organically
cool thing, right? When you're working with your boys, it's different because you don't have to pressure them and they don't have to worry about I don't have the payment fast enough, and no one has to worry about all that because it's going to happen when it happens, and then when it gets done, I can tell the difference that it's not pushed. It's a slow grill. I mean, it's a slow smoker.
Slow, nice and tender. Nice and tender
meat is tender. It gets ready.
Nice and tender. But aesthetically, I'm sure it's going to be a crazy project. Can't wait to hear it. But let's get up into modern day, because as much as we like music, sometimes music don't pay the bills all the time. So
hey, come on,
you're a man.
I just told y'all it don't pay the bills, and when it does, they steal it back.
You're a man of many hustles. So what's your main hustle now? What's your main hustle? What's taking care of the family? The car payments, the house payment.
You're right.
The equipment payment.
The equipment.
Most of all, the equipment payment.
The equipment and keep the phone on, right? And keep your your insurance on your car running, and So no, I'm a realtor now at Austin City Living, and
okay.
I tell you, I've been there now over 10 years. So it's maybe coming up on 12 or 13. So what's crazy about it is the way that I got brought into real estate is a couple of ways, and both ways have to do with entertainment. Isn't that crazy? So
you were singing to your clients.
No.
Ooh, by this house.
So I was starting to bring people just out of knowing my dad also being from here. We just knew a lot of people. So in the Downtown Alliance and everything, I know the president of the Downtown Alliance, and he, I was starting to get people that knew I knew people, and they were wanting to buy, lease clubs. They were wanting to get into some of the buildings, and I was bringing them over to him, right? I was bringing them over to him, and I think he might have felt guilty because he was like, he says, Terell, if you get your license, you could get some money for what you're actually doing. Like, I can't pay you without it, but I mean, what you're doing, I can show you that this is actually a job that you could make money on, if you learn this thing. So I heard about it at first, and I was thinking I keep that, and in my mind, and I did get to open 115 with him with that guy, and several partners, the investors, RJ, Brent, Williams. We had Kelvin Gertie, myself, and Huey, the lawyer. But all these people, 5 brothers, and we got the club 115 at 115 San Jacinto. And as that kept going, and it kind of, I won't complain too much, but we had issues with some of the brothers, and it ended up having to fizzle out. But when it got done, and I was like, man, like you were saying, Kaz, like, look, man, I got to make sure I'm getting some money, and also the record deal issue was going on. It was having an issue. It was coming down too at the same time. So I'm like, look, man, I got to make sure I get to the next dollars, right? I mean, we got to get to the next, like you said, the next thing. And so lo and behold, I get my real estate license. I'm like, I want to put my license somewhere, but I don't want to do the regular Keller Williams thing. I want to start somewhere where people kind of can know some stuff and bring me into like a little bit more of a niche, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I started finding out. I forgot how I found out about Austin City Living, but Fred Myers brought me in. Okay, Fred Myers was one of the partners at the time at Austin City Living, but Fred Myers was the president of Warner Brothers for many years.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's a trip. I'm just saying, like, he was when the industry was crashing and going through all, these are people that were around. I mean, the real people that were around during all this stuff, man. So Fred Myers is a partner at a place, and he kind of vets me out, and brings me in. I'm still there, He's moved on to different places now, but that kind of brought me in, and I've stayed there because it was such an easy fit. And like you say, you can continue doing your music and your stuff that you want to do as far as performing, or if you want to write and do whatever, you still have that, but you're also able to take care of these clients, and deal with, I list a lot of properties, people also, I've helped buyers and sellers, but I also deal with commercial property and residential properties, a niche of commercial property. So even some of the guys around here have worked with me, both either as a commercial realtor, and they've gotten the space with me, or they bought, real homes or sold homes with me. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Man, what's unique, man, is that your wife is in the same line of work, per se, is what you do, and that's a blessing, bro. For y'all to be able to share things with and bounce things off of, and
right, you can bounce ideas, right?
Yeah, exactly,
and
man.
you can see what's going on across the industry, because hers deals with more multifamily and scattered homes that are turned one way, and I'm dealing with individuals and business people that own they're individual companies, or they, the top of those things, and or they're them buying their homes and stuff like that. So you get to see with us both, you get to see a broad understanding of what's happening across the real estate industry. You know what I mean?
Especially in Austin right now, real estate is crazy.
It's always been crazy. It's gonna
Always
probably
been.
right. I think it's gonna come back to being. I just everything's moving here, so even I've been with some of the comedy stuff that's been here. I've been on the Kill Tony show a few times. Shout out to John Dees and all those guys that bring me in. Mike, the guys over there with the Kill Tony project. But everybody, Joe Rogan and all those folks, everybody's bringing all their stuff into Austin.
Right.
So it's not just it's no longer just tech, right? It's not just
everything.
Right. I mean, it's literally Hollywood's moving into Austin, so it's kind of a shift.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They just need to figure out how to fix 35 in and out of downtown, and then they might be all right.
Man, if you can change the corruption here, then it might happen.
Well, I guess it'll never happen then.
Might never happen. Understand me?
So for those that want to get in contact with you, when it comes to real estate, whether it's commercial property
and production and music.
Well, I was gonna get into that afterwards because I'm pretty sure he might keep those separate.
I try to, but
so I'm gonna ask them both of them. But
right.
But those that want to contact you on the real estate game, tell people how they can contact you, whether it be an email, phone number,
man,
website, whatever you got for those individuals.
Man, that's awesome, and thank you. You can come. You can always look up Austin City Living, and go to that website and see that I'm one of the realtors there, and get through. If you don't remember how to find me any other way, you can just go straight to Austin City Living, and they'll get you to me. But you can call my regular number. And look, I don't mind people having my number. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can call 512-634-7246. Just call me or text me directly and set up an appointment. Or a consultation about whatever your property is, or if you want to pick up a property, we can talk about that. And you can if you email me, you can email Terell at austincityliving.com. So that's TERRELL at austincityliving.com. And so just anything that you may want to check out, if you want to look around Austin and understand what's going on, then realtors basically have the tools to see everything in real time. We basically have a key to kind of show you what's actually happening, and so you can see it.
Okay, and for those that are looking for either production work or music, or those that may even want you to come in and perform or anything like that. I don't know if it's the same contact information, but if you'll spit that out for me.
It is the same number, at least it's the same telephone number. I don't have a bunch of different phones, because that would just not work for me in my but I know people got 8 phones, but for me it's just that number. But you can also go through you see behind me is Urbanian Entertainment. You can go to that email, UE Vision, UE as in Urbanian Entertainment, Vision 512 at gmail.com. And you can just go ahead and send a direct email about anything. But that company, what we do there is basically it's a consulting thing as well, because if you have a show, if you need someone to handle your lights, your sound, anything, we're able to hook you up with the right people to get that done correctly and pro. Camera people, I've employed a lot of our people around here that are great with cameras and things like that. Musicians, if you need to get stuff recorded, like Kaz was saying, you can record with me, and or I can take you somewhere else and get you to be recorded with somebody else that you might have a hard time getting with. But we're basically a solutions company. So when you look at Urbanian Entertainment, it's a solutions company that really books bands like my own bands, really, but also other bands. Like when people say, "Hey, man, I want a band that does X, and I don't know anything about this area, and I need a band that does this." If it's not what I do, then it's easy for me, because I just go find the band that that you need that fits exactly what you're talking about, and we employ them, and and put them through, you know. So
I guess I might need to register with you guys so you can place me when somebody needs a good DJ. Hey,
yeah, which is what I need sometimes. I need sometimes a DJ to come back through it. I need to put Kaz back up in the building because that's gonna be too fun, man. That's too fun.
Put me in, coach. Put me in.
Look, man, we got a gig on July 11th that at Flamingo that I think you might want to have, because we spinning that soul music. You know, Claudia Melton.
We'll talk after this.
Yeah, we gonna have to do something because you know.
You gonna bring Kaz out of retirement?
Yeah, come on, man.
I've been out of retirement.
Yeah,
I've been out of retirement.
That's too good. That's too good right there. You know.
But you know what? Give me, before we get out of here, give me one more piece of knowledge that you want to impart on somebody that wants to get into this thing we call music businesses. Keyword on business.
Right, the keyword is business. Well, I start the other way because I think what keeps me motivated is I have a lot to say, actually. And I'm not trying to just be popular or be known. So, you know, if you actually have something to say, you probably are going to stay motivated because you want someone to hear what you're trying to say, or the perspective that you're trying to present is something that's important to you, you know. So that something that keeps you motivated is important. The business aspect is absolutely, I would say, you can't do anything. You can't sell any product. You can't do anything without knowing something about how to move a product, right? And something about what's happening with products in the time that you're working in, right? You know, and so that research is just absolutely a must. I would just tell someone that you do want to be independent. You do not want to sign a 360 deal. I can tell you that right now. I don't care what the name of the company is. You don't want it. You can't pay that loan back. You're not going to win that. So, but you can take your product and keep every dime if you want to, you know, do it correct, and make sure if you're going to do that, you've done everything to keep every dime. But if not, you make sure you're paying everybody. Their publishing is right. They're represented in your work. Keep everything very true and very clean. You know, very true, very clean, very transparent. Take your ego out of the way. Do not work like that. Work like you're in school taking a test and you're learning from your friend about the right answers or whatever. You know, treat it like that, because that will help you get through something that's made to trap you. It's made to you know, the system is made, like I was telling Teddy, it's like going to the casinos, man. The house always wins. Okay, so
they let you get a little bit, but then they take it right back.
Y'all ain't been seeing nobody leave with the bag. I'm telling you, no matter how big they are. So what happens is, if in order to do that, you actually have to remain your own business. You have to remain your own person. I didn't really listen to that, and I know why we don't, because we get tired. Let's say you guys made $50,000 one year or $70,000, and you're like, man, but man, I worked so hard. Can I do that again next year? Right. And makes us all want to sign deals, right? Because we're like, I need a team. And I don't have a team out here. And the only way I'm gonna get a team, I need to sign them, and then they're gonna make it happen. Well, they know you feel that way, right? And they know and that's not what's gonna happen. The same 12 people gonna get played next week, and they're gonna shelve you, and you're gonna have 4 or 5 years to get off that record label. It's gonna take you a while. So you wanna, or maybe never, if they have you, you know, tied in too tight. So try to make sure that you stay with yourself, and any move you make, you know it 100%. I mean, even if you get a lawyer, even if you're gonna get a lawyer, which you should, if you don't understand paperwork, you've got to have someone who understands the paperwork. But
it's easier now with all the internet. You just got to go in and look and read.
That's right.
And inquire and do your research.
That's right.
It's up to you not to be lazy.
It really is.
It's accessible now. A lot of the stuff is accessible.
It really is. Yeah.
If you're going to get in this business, I say do your research, read a lot, ask a lot of questions. Information is out there now.
It's out there. Listen to all the guys.
No longer hidden. It's not
hidden.
out there.
It's out
not
there.
hidden anymore.
your favorite artists are telling on the industry right now. Also,
Oh yeah,
your favorite artists are. I promise you, all you gotta do is look at the YouTube. They're telling on them. I'm telling you right now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the people that went before you, as young people, you have to listen. You have to look back because they've already done door number 3 and door number 4 and number 2. So they can tell you and save you a bunch of time and let you know exactly how evil what you're dealing with is by listening to all those folks. You're thinking, man, I wonder what happened to them. I like all those people. I wonder what happened. Well, they got YouTubes. They got they, they got
I'm gonna tell you,
Instagrams. They're talking. They're telling on people right now. They're telling you. I tell you what happened to me. They're letting it out. So
my idol right now is Eric Sermon, because
he's telling the truth.
I mean, he let it fly. You understand? You understand?
Your catalog is what will make you money. That's we were talking the other day. Like all the rappers from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, or I say mid 2000s, they can still do shows when they're 50, 60, even older, because the material was unique and it wasn't sounding like everybody else. The new guys now, they're making their money. I'm not knocking that they're making their money, but they have no longevity.
It looks like
longevity. There's no longevity.
Yeah, the only money they make
when they get
doing live shows.
Yeah, when they get shows.
That's right.
When they get to 60, 50, 60, they're not going to be able to get up there and do all the songs they're doing now.
No, and as a matter of fact, like he was just saying, I mean, this is a fact. The only way they're making money today is through shows. It's not through sales of anything.
Because streaming ain't making you money.
The streaming is 0.002 cents per spin. Yeah, I mean, so
Eric Sermon says his catalog is the beat from You're a Customer. I think The Dream used it, a snippet of it on his album, and he makes like every quarter like $200-something thousand, because just The Dream, because The Dream, I think Drummer Boy produced it. I'm not sure who produced it. Whoever produced it used part of Eric Sermon's thing. So his little 3-4% from publishing off that is making him over $200-something thousand every quarter.
That's right, because it's a placement. I mean, all you got to do is place a song somewhere. I mean, it just has to be put somewhere, and the publishing will do the rest.
But if you don't own, but the key back to the business, if you don't own your publishing,
if you don't own it,
somebody else is going to be getting that money.
There you go. Thank you.
And on that note, I want to say, Terell, Shahid, my man, it's been a long time since we got together and just held conversation. Thank you for getting on here with us.
I enjoy having fun chopping it up with the bad boys. Look, all you guys are legends, and I'm gonna tell you, Austin, it's great just for people to know a little bit about what's been going on. So I'm glad you guys are doing this.
CT Live Podcast.
It's always a blessing, bro, man. I really thank you for taking the time to chop it up with us, because you one brother, man, that I can never, ever get tired of hearing talk, man.
Thank you, brother, because I can show run.
To be honest, I can shut up and just let you talk. You know what I'm saying? For the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Because I know you spitting knowledge. You're telling me something that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because you experienced a lot more in this business than what I did. And you just did it on different levels, bro. I really value what you have to say, which I hope people that hear this interview really, really listen to what you're saying, because you're only telling the truth, bro.
I'm just saying, it's just my experience, right? Like you said, you walk through the door and you see something, like cats say, he's at the party, you're looking behind door number 1, and you say, "Why not?" So but when you're there, you know what I'm saying? Like when you come back and you say, "Listen, this is what I saw. This is what my experience was." So I appreciate y'all letting people see what I walk through. People walk different ways, So
as you walk that straight line. CT Live Podcast, your main man DJ Casanova, my partner in crime,
MC Cold Fresh Teddy Lee,
and the guest of honor, Mr. Terell Shahid. Thank you very much, my man.
Peace.